while Trump is busy calling Somali immigrants garbage and acting like they offer nothing to the country, this kind of feels like an opportune time to remind everyone that Somalis low-key helped the West to get online. And Gen Z, you weren't there, so let me walk you through what that looked like, because most of you have never experienced a time in life where it was kind of difficult to get online if your family didn't have a computer. And for most people in the early 2000s, that was the case, right? Almost half of low-income UK households had absolutely no internet at home, right? In the US, more than 40% of low-income families were offline too. Because before Wi-Fi in every block, before unlimited data, before we even had iPhones in every pocket, right? It was the Somali internet cafes that were holding it down, right? When you saw that small shop with its blue glow, the smell of French fries or chips from the next door, right? 20 dusty computers were humming like a generator. You'd walk in, ask for a Mirinda with £1 thinking that you were Jeff Bezos, right? Kids printing coursework because there was no laptop at home. Teens making their first Yahoo email, setting up an MSN or a Black Chat, right? Doing something wild, right? Uncles checking football scores, aunties sending money home and arguing with the exchange rate. And for people saying that the internet was already everywhere, well, no, it wasn't. Not in low income households, not in black or migrant neighborhoods. Even Ofcom said that ethnic minorities and migrant households were less likely to have home internet in the early broadband years. Not that Trump would care about that, but working class people were struggling, right, with access to the internet. People forget that Somali entrepreneurs stepped up long before any council or telecom cared. They built these hubs with no funding, no backing, just community need and pure strategy. And for the ones who maybe shout at me and be like, you're exaggerating Somali impact, well, here's the truth, right? Those cafes weren't building GDP. They were actually building access, capability, and connection. They were the digital front door for whole entire neighborhoods when the system was moving slow. And America had the same pattern as the UK, right? In London, that was standard, Wembley, Harlesden, and then Minneapolis, Columbus, Seattle, San Diego. Somali-owned cafes filled the gaps in communities that the mainstream tech world just completely ignored. And if anyone asks why I bring immigration into it, well, it's because the same country shouting about who doesn't belong forgets that it's immigrant businesses who are the ones giving working class Americans their very first taste of online world. So you wouldn't have no one to talk to in your crazy rants if it wasn't for the Somalis. That's the part that nobody says. The people you call outsiders were building the access everyone ended up using. The business lesson: when institutions move slow, community business becomes the infrastructure. But the next step is turning that kind of innovation into ownership, not just service. Let's talk in the comment section.